What's up guys, welcome to Freedive Passion. Today I'm going to discuss a question from Ahmed Deef. Now Ahmed has been spearfishing for a while. For the last year his dive times have plateaued at 2 minutes at a depth of about 15 meters, and he wants to know how we can get over this plateau. Firstly, Ahmed, what I want to say is don't be too tough on yourself. A 2-minute dive time at 15 meters is pretty good in a spearfishing sort of setting. So by what I mean by this is spearfishers generally are going to be doing a lot of repetitions. So you're doing a lot of these dives one after another with quite short surface intervals in between. So with this being the case, 2 minutes is a pretty strong dive. So in this case, I can see two reasons why your dive time might plateau. One is if you're becoming hypoxic, which I don't think is the case because you didn't mention that or blacking out or anything like this. The other one is just your carbon dioxide tolerance, which is what I believe is the case for you. The feeling of high levels of carbon dioxide is a pretty tough feeling. To get past this point, what you need to do is match this tough feeling with an equally tough state of mind. The best freedivers in the world, they didn't find some cheat. A dive doesn't feel easy to them. They get the same feelings that you get. The difference is they have the drive, the strength of mind to feel these feelings and not come up to breathe, to keep doing their dive, to keep doing their static, their dynamic, their constant weight, whatever it is they're doing, and not let these feelings actually affect them both physically or psychologically. It might seem crazy to you because when you feel this feeling, it seems just irresistible. You need to come up and breathe. But freediving is not alone in this. There's a lot of different sports. And basically what separates top level people from just average people in most sports is just the will to put themselves through something which other people are not willing to put themselves through. Let's take cycling for instance. At the most basic level, anyone can just jump on a bike with your family, with your kids, and just go for a nice ride around the park or around the block and enjoy yourself. This is what's going to equate to just going snorkeling on the reef and doing some diving down without ever feeling any uncomfortable feelings. You can also cycle as a hobby and as a way to keep fit. When you're doing this, you're still kind of within your comfort zone, but your breathing rate will rise, you'll be out of breath. Sometimes your legs might get tired, but you're not going to maintain that type of workload for a long time. Now I'd say this is about the equivalent to where you are now when you're freediving. Now with these two examples, all you need to start to improve to get faster is just the mental toughness to decide, okay, now I'm going to just push myself as hard as I can, and I don't care how I feel, how hard I breathe, how much my legs are burning, I'm just going to keep going. You don't need any physical adaptation to get better, it's all in your head. And again, this is the same in your freediving. You don't need to do anything special, you don't need any crazy physical adaptation to be able to hold your breath longer than 2 minutes. What you need is that toughness to say, okay, I have the urge to breathe, I have this feeling, but I'm not going to come up and breathe. I'm just going to keep my breath hold going and maintain my breath hold through this feeling. Next, you would have lower level competitive cyclists. So these guys now, they have a degree of mental toughness, they have a degree of physical toughness. When they cycle, they're going to be kind of on their limit, they're always going to be kind of struggling, pushing it. They're going to frequently be having like lactic buildup in the legs. They're going to be breathing like really hard. The whole race basically is going to be pretty tough. Now to improve here for a cyclist, now you need to put the body under such demand that the body is forced to adapt to that demand, get stronger, get fitter. Okay, this would be about the equivalent to let's say a freediver who's now doing 70 meters and they want to get to 80, 90, 100 meters. Then you have the top level competitive cyclists. These people are pushing their mind and their body to extremes regularly. And they're pushing themselves much further than what you and I would ever really want to do. That's why you only have a few top level cyclists, and the same, that's why we only have a few top level freedivers, because they're willing to go the extra mile to feel that little bit much of a tougher dive because they want it. They just have this drive within them. So as you can see, you don't need to do anything crazy to get better, to get past this plateau. All you need is the will and strength of mind, Once you feel this urge to breathe, just not to breathe and simply keep your breath hold going until you get back up to the surface. Apart from that, let me give you a few more tips that might help you along your way. Longer dives are going to be more mentally and physically taxing. So what this means is you're not going to be able to do as many dives in the session, and it also means you should have longer surface intervals between each dive. I'd say at least twice the length of your dive, you should be on the surface. So if you start to dive for 2.5 minutes, that means you need to wait 5 minutes on the surface. Any movement which you use while you're underwater is going to build up carbon dioxide. So obviously, you should pick a hunting technique which requires the least amount of moving, so more like an ambush style hunting. The more often you feel high levels of carbon dioxide, the more often you feel like, okay, now I really want to breathe, and still don't, you go past this point, the less of a big deal this point is going to become. So for this reason, some type of static training can be very useful for you. And lastly, you're not going to be confident enough to start to extend your dive times, extend your breath holds, if you don't have a designated safety that you trust. And this guy should be trained in how to rescue people should anything go wrong. And what I like to do if I've got a safety that I'm diving with regularly is after each dive session, we'll practice some rescues. This way, I know he's doing the right thing, and I've got that in my head, I've got that extra confidence that when I'm pushing my limits, if something does go wrong, this guy knows what to do and he's going to be there to help me. So that's it, bro. Sorry there's no easy fixes, but here's the thing. If there was an easy fix, we'd all have a 10-minute static. What separates the best from the rest of us is that drive to go through the punishment, the pain, the suffering that normal people will not do. Until next time, take it easy and dive safe.